Today we're going to be looking at 5 key tips on how to grow your business or generate extra cash flow during kind of economic downtime, or perhaps there's a bit of a lull, or you're in the peaks and troughs and you're in the trough bit at the moment. So we're going to look at 5 key tips in order to help you manage and generate a little bit more cash flow for your business. Amortization, a bit of a difficult one to say that. So tip number 1 in my 5 key tips here, we're talking about subscription services. So what I'm talking about is when a business has like a recurring piece of revenue. So if you don't have this in your business, this is a brilliant way of getting passive income in. So what you need to do is come up with a system. So say if you're like a Sparky or something like that, then you might have some sort of subscription where people can have their electrics maintained, like gas boilers and plumbers, those kind of things. I have those subscription services. Or if you have like a specialist area, so say if you're particularly good at doing something like crochet, or maybe you have a really good in-depth knowledge of like camera equipment, for instance, you could set up a subscription service where people will come in and learn about that, like an educational tool. And what they're going to do is they're going to pay you a small amount of money every single month in order to have access to that equipment and that knowledge basis that you've got. But what it's going to in return for you is it's going to be a one-time event where you're going to create this big system of stuff, but then you're done with it, and then it's going to give you passive income and a nice steady cash flow, which is going to help iron out your peaks and troughs and assist with money in your till again. So tip number 2, basically we're talking about telling customers about your existing services. So time and time again, customers will sit there, they might use you for 1% or 10% of the services that you provide, and they'll go along for months and months and months, really happy, and then they suddenly go, oh, I wonder if we could do X, Y, Z, and then they'll go on the internet, they'll search, and they'll probably choose someone different. So what you need to do is send out a regular newsletter or at least an email reminding them of the services that you provide. Then that way there'll be a reminder, and I bet you if you send that out to 100 customers, I bet you 10% of them will probably go, oh, I never realised you did X, Y, Z, and then they'll sign up for that service. So that is a real low-hanging fruit for you to actually just go out there and get, and really, really easy. Just do a nice little email out to them, reminding them of all the services you've got. We do that quite regularly at the We Group. We actually remind people about the fact we're not just a bookkeeping and admin service. We can do recruiting, we can do call handling, we can do chatbot answering, all that kind of stuff. And all the time it results in somebody saying, oh, I didn't realise you did that. I think I'll sign up for that as well and give that a run for money. I was looking for somebody to do that actually, and didn't realise you did it. Those kind of comments come back all the time. So that's a real easy fix for you to do, very low cost, and really all you're doing is just reminding them of your other services. So should come pretty naturally to you. My 3rd tip out of the 5 key tips that I'm giving you today is going to be about making sure your business is presentable. Nobody wants to go into a coffee shop or anything where first thing you need to do is barge through the door because the door's sticking, or they can't even figure out if you're open or not because it doesn't look like you've turned the lights on. Maybe you're trying to save electricity, who knows, I don't know. But basically, if you don't make yourself super presentable to the public, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot. It's all about image. So some good tips here. If you don't already know, but if you run in the service industry whatsoever, make sure that people are sitting in the windows where other customers can see them. That will make sure that gives the image that your cafe or your restaurant is fuller than it perhaps otherwise is, creates a bit of a scarcity approach to it. So then people might come in and then they'll be like, oh, that's a... If your restaurant or your coffee shop is completely empty, people will probably wonder why that is. Perhaps the coffee's not so great, so they're less likely to come in. It's a psychological human trait. So make sure it's presentable. Make sure your pricing is clear, like you know how much you're going to spend. If you've got a menu, maybe display it outside. If you've got some offers on, maybe make sure that they can be seen easily. If you work in, say, like office industry, like we're here, make sure that you're portraying the right image. For example, here we're in Brighton, this particular office that I'm sitting in now, and we like to have some funky things, even if they actually belong to me, but they're props in the background here, this bicycle and piano. It's a talking point when people come in, so you're presenting yourself. And breaking down that kind of boring come in, it's an office with a meeting room and that's it. You're telling them a little bit about the backstory of you and what you're into, so that someone might talk to my staff either about the fact I used to play piano or still do sometimes, and maybe a bike ride or whatever. So it gives them something to hang on to, like a little hook, and keeps them remembering. If you remember in the Diary of a CEO, we talk about the psychological moonshots and things like that, the things that people remember when they're leaving the office or when they're leaving the meeting or the coffee shop or whatever. Make sure you do all of those, and that will keep people coming back time and time, or make sure that you win those contracts that you've been pitching for. And then the net result of that is going to be, guess what? Yes, more cash in your till. Tip number 4 that we're going to be discussing now is about making an offer, not discounting. So if you take your existing services, whatever they are, pretty much all of them can have some kind of special offer on them, whether or not you're discounting a physical product, maybe you're chucking in something for free or whatever, but the offer is a limited time only. So what you're not doing is you're not dumbing down your product by giving you a discount, because that's like a discount, you know, we're struggling for money, or maybe we're closing down or whatever. This is an offer, so you might say buy one get one free, or buy one get one half price, or for a limited time only you get an extra hour's worth of service if you're a service provider, or if you're a coffee person, the offer is buy 2 small ones and you get a big one, or one of those little stampy card things. Those are really good ways of increasing engagement in your business, so without underlying your actual initial product or service by saying it's discounted right now, because discounting is death and offering is really where you want to be at. So make sure you do lots of offers, make sure that they are stack up. You need to make sure you've done your numbers and that you're not kind of shooting yourself in the foot, but offers are far better and they send out the right message. They're also far easier to say this is an offer for to the end of the month, for instance, and have a time scale to it. Even if you end up like the DFS offer, where there's everything's always on offer and then every month it just rolls over. It doesn't matter if you repeat the offers later in the year or whatever, but have that time scale where the offer gets, so that will create a little bit of scarcity. People will go and say, oh, right now it's on offer, we better go and buy. So that will enable you to get the kind of that instant cash flow into your business and assist you if you're going through a real bad low at that moment in time. It's not the answer to everything, because discounting or offering is not really your long-term solution, but I think you can actually really utilize that. So yeah, so what you want to do is really work out exactly your kind of offer is, and make sure you don't shoot yourself in the foot, and make sure that when you are offering that you put these timescales on, and you're not discounting, and make sure that you've done all of that, and then that should result in actual more business coming to you, more money going into your till. It's not a long-term solution. This is a quick fix if you're a little bit low at the end of the month, or maybe you can see something coming in the future. Some of the other tips here are more long-term tips to get cash in, but this is a really useful one if you just need that bit of a whack into your business. Put those offers on, get those customers through the door and spending some money with you. So finally, tip number 5, you can work on your social media. So that doesn't necessarily mean your own brand image. I know loads and loads of people don't really like doing what I'm doing right now, but you can work on your business. So if you've got Facebook posts where you've kind of like put 1 or 2 out, and maybe, you know, you haven't updated it for a while or something like that, make sure you do it regularly. Consistency is the king in social media. You need to make sure that your audience is being told about any offers, any kind of like bits that you're doing, all that kind of stuff. Even people love like seeing what your staff are up to, all that kind of stuff. That can really build brand loyalty and then result into extra cash flow, because people will feel like they know you before they've even done business with you. And that's where the personal branding stuff comes into it. I know it's not for everybody, but it's a bit like exercise. Nobody really likes doing it, but you kind of have to. We're in a modern society right now. social media is like a massive part of being a business owner. You're the ambassador for your business. You are the founder. So go out there, talk about it, tell people about it, build a brand about yourself, talk about your business, whatever it is. But you're going to build that kind of ecosystem and ethos where people feel like they're lovely people to do business with. And then hopefully that will result in extra revenue for your business. The massive bonus about it is if you do it yourself, it's completely free. You can set up numerous Facebook pages, Instagrams, profiles, LinkedIn pages, all that kind of stuff, and they're totally and utterly free. But make sure you fill in all of the bios, all of the information, make sure the telephone numbers work, all that kind of stuff. There is nothing worse than going to an Instagram page and there's literally none of the other bits filled in, or you go on a LinkedIn profile or a page and the telephone number doesn't work or the website address is missing. Make sure you do it and you do it properly. You can outsource that kind of stuff. We own companies and we do lots of outsourcing of those kind of things here, but you can really do it yourself if you've got that spare time and you want to drive your business forward. Focus in on that and that should result in some additional cash in your till. So I hope those 5 key tips are really super useful for you, and they're really low cost things to do as well. We're not talking a whole load of money that's got to be spent on big marketing budgets or advertising or whatever. These are like some really low key barrier to entry things to do that are going to enable you to get some cash in your till. So if you like that, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, head over to Instagram, Facebook, follow us, all those sort of normal places. Give this video a bit of love. Comment below if you've got any other key tips or any other ideas, and see you in the next video.